to episode 243 of the Brewooders, the beer, comics, and assorted geekery podcast. I'm Jeff. In the middle of the screen this week is John, and on the right, but it's on the far right, but not as far as where we are a member of the far right, is Mr. Andrew McGee. You guys okay?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's been a funny old week, as they say.
It has been.
I won't bore you with the details. I'll bore you with the details on Saturday when I see you.
Yeah, good. I just bored you guys with the details of my day. We're into air. The world of Fife bureaucracy, Fife local authority bureaucracy. But I look forward to hearing all your shit on Saturday, man.
Yeah. Well, you will. So what have we been up to? What's new in geekery and fandom this week? Then what we're going to talk about?
I'm not drinking this week, really, so I don't know. Is anyone
got
a beer?
All right, I'll quickly do the beer then, because I do have a beer. I've got a Hobgoblin Ruby beer.
Oh, that's a good one.
I love the Hobgoblin cans.
Mm-hmm.
Just what looks like a wee. I was going to say a wee orange one or something like that.
It's a wee goblin.
A wee goblin.
A wee
hobgoblin. I never understood this. I've read fantasy and played Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like this, and I'm sure a Dungeons and Dragons person would come forward and tell you. But what's the actual difference between a goblin and a hobgoblin? You know, what extra do hobgoblins have to do to make them not just goblins? It seems so very arbitrary.
I'm gonna Google it just now. What's the guesses?
I don't know. I mean, it's like, because they're both mythical creatures, they'll not be hard. They'll be whatever Dungeons and Dragons has said, or whatever J.R.R. Tolkien has said. But it just seems like
So goblins are typically depicted as small, grotesque, while hobgoblins are often larger and more humanoid.
Okay.
Goblins are malicious and chaotic, whereas hobgoblins are more disciplined. Yeah.
Fair enough. Who made that up? Who decided that?
This is all of my sources. The laughing my sources there,
because it's
the laughing squid.
You could just as easily say things like hobgoblins are more easily annoyed and allergic to peaches, and goblins are less irritable, but they really didn't like furniture which is shaped like pieces of fruit. It just the whole thing is just made up.
Well, there's goblins are supposed to be wee. When I think of hobgoblins, I think of your can. I don't know if that's because of the branding of that beer. But when I think of actual goblins, I think of the Goblin Hall in is it Haddington? It's like there's a old building in Haddington that was apparently built by goblins. That's down where you used to stay.
It's in East Lothian where I used to stay.
It's
a big place. Haddington's the county seat for East Lothian. Yeah. So it's one of the oldest towns in the area. Although Musselburgh is the oldest town, and I think they always feel a little bit aggrieved. It's been there since before it was a borough before Edinburgh was a borough, and they always feel a wee bit aggrieved that the county seat is Haddington rather than Musselburgh.
I like Musselburgh. I went to their pub that's supposed to be their equivalent of they've got a pub there. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. Stag. Yeah, but it's the equivalent of the commercial.
Commercial, yeah. It's I think it's won Scotland's best pub in one of the things this year. It's very similar. It does, real beer, like the beer that we appreciate, sort of thing.
Just remember it being really small and busy and cramped compared to the commercial, which is kind of almost open plan. It's quite big and it's great.
The Stags is you go in and the bar is small, but there is another bar through the back. When there's sport on, that they open up the big bar.
No, it's a nice bar. Been there twice. The first time I went, there was folk farting and stuff. There was a guy farting, and the only available seat was near the toilet, and it was just a bit rank. And the second time I went, it was much quieter, and Leeds won. There was a Leeds game on the telly, and they won, and it was fine. So it was good. But anyway, Hobgoblin's a good beer.
This is Hobgoblin Ruby. I mean, you got Hobgoblin Standard, Hobgoblin Gold, and this is Hobgoblin Ruby, which is a very dark, fruity, lively beer. It's very, very nice. I've taken a huge liking to it recently. It's got a lot of flavour, like mini fruit goblins dancing about on your tongue.
Rather than
I'm not saying I've got a goblin
less malicious humanoid goblin.
Actually, it brings a whole new variation to the word goblin. You just
fuck's sake.
What have I told you about not letting me go out on a tangent like this?
Yes.
5 minutes in and already we're phew.
Promise to keep it tight. We're keeping it tight. We're keeping it tight. Okay, that's the beer chat done. What have you guys been reading comics this week?
Yes.
I haven't been reading any comics this week, so we'll defer to John for this one.
Yes, I went to Forbidden Planet the other day. I was in the land of the Edinburgh at the festival, and I bought this beast. Now, this is a beast. It's huge. It's the Superman Treasury 2005.
Wow.
It is massive. I'll put up a regular comic in comparison to it, okay? There's a regular comic in comparison to the Superman Treasury. It is a beast. It's a nice special. It obviously put out for the Summer of Superman, as DC's been promoting just now. Lots of nice pictures from the movie as well. Let's have a look here. We've got the cast from the movie. But then the artwork in it is stellar. It's obviously been drawn for the bigger size. Lots of nice splash pages. Just really nice.
I remember a few years ago I did a book that size, and they were amazing.
There's the front there, so massive. But yeah, they're roughly about the same size as that Ross ones, yeah. Instead of being square bound,
that Marvel.
There's like a Batman, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman one, yeah.
The Captain Marvel one was exceptional.
Yeah, so that was really good. Really enjoyed that. So that was my comic for the week. I read a couple of little things here and there, but for the most part, just the Superman Treasury, which I bought when I was over at the festival.
We are in, like you say, we are in the summer of Superman. We're in the summer of the new Superman that gives us all hope, and one of the old Supermen who's making us go,
Dean Cain joining Ice.
Let's not.
That's not.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not save that for. We'll save that for a politically motivated podcast, the Brew World Order.
Yeah. I don't know if we're asked at some point to do a top 5 go or top 5 Supermen, I'm going to say that he's not going to make it.
Yeah, I think he fell out of all of our lists this week. Yeah,
nope, still on my list. Still on my wank list. I mean, still.
Yeah,
I meant to say Terry Hatcher. Never mind.
You think casual racism? You think casual racism would remove him from said list? But then, me and Andrew and Tom had that bizarrely. Me and Andrew and Tom in the pub had a very similar conversation. But we won't go there until after the
John Bruce wank bank, obviously.
I can't believe that. Genuinely, me and Andrew and Tom were in the pub the other week, and I had a very similar conversation about a completely different person. And it was like, at what point can you stop liking somebody based on their political views? So it's an interesting conversation to have, but not one for here. I've been reading a shit ton of 2000 ADs this week. Obviously, I get a wee bit of downtime at the van, so I'm enjoying it. I think I'm about 10 issues ahead of you, John. I know you've been reading that a wee bit as well, but
a little bit,
yeah. I'm trying to give it 2 seconds. Should have done it while you guys were talking about Eddie and Kane. But 2000 AD, I've had a 10-part
in container if you're interested.
2, 3, 8, 5. I'm trying to think what they ran a series. I'll dig it out and I'll find it later. They ran a series, and you can maybe hit me out, John, because you're pretty good at this stuff, and so can Andrew. There's a book that they run in 2000 AD where it's like these aliens have taken over the world, and they've taken it in order to fight. The aliens are called the Sepsis. I'm kind of annoyed that I can't remember who. We've got plenty of folk that watch the show that are into 2000 AD. This alien race called the Sepsis who are taking over the world, and as part of the alien, as part of humankind's attempts to try and stop them, they've raised a vampire queen to fight the aliens. because of like her regeneration qualities and stuff.
Is that Durham Red?
Yeah. So the most recent, that was quite good. I enjoyed that, and then the Rogue Trooper story.
Durham Red has always been good artwork. The covers when for that's very, very good.
Yeah, let's see if it is Durham Red. Because Durham Red jumps into my mind as well, but I'm actually not 100% sure it was Durham Red. I'm in this particular set of issues I'm thinking about. So not because as I said that to you guys, I've been like reading them. I'll find out and I'll get back to you. 2435. What's it? 2018. 2435. What's in 243? It's not Durham Red, but as soon as she said Durham Red, I was like, oh, it is Durham Red, and then I'm like, actually, I really like Durham Red.
She's a vampire, Durham Red.
Yeah. This is called Silver. The series is called Silver. It's set in the year It's set in the far future, 2001. A group of armed survivors have sought out the resting place of a 500-year-old vampire who may just help them in their war against the alien sepsis. So yeah, pretty cool. It's such a cool series, and like you were saying about the artwork, I remember Durham Red's art being amazing. The artwork on this also incredible. So it's a script by Mark Carroll, script by art by Joe Curry. So yeah, just should check it out. Like the art's really awesome. Totally different to Durham Red though, but I really enjoyed Durham Red as well. 2000 AD is just great. They're also running a series that's like just started a series in 2000 AD where it's like based on the fall of like War of the Worlds. If it was set in like War of the Worlds was set in like the H.G. Wells era of War of the Worlds, and it's like what actually happened afterwards.
1850s or 1860s or something like that.
Yeah. Wasn't. So they run a series just now that's like what happens in London after the aliens fall, like with all the tech lying about and dying aliens and stuff. Like what actually would happen in Victorian London if they had alien tech lying around. It's pretty cool. That's amazing. Like all these like the Russian and Prussians are trying to like break into the UK to try and steal their own war machine, alien war machines and stuff. And that kind of stuff's really cool. 2018.
I know there's a new version of War of the Worlds on Amazon with Ice Cube, and it's done like a modern era thing. Yeah. Like I think I think famously back in the 1940s or something like that, the guy who was in Citizen Kane did a radio show.
Orson Welles,
Welles did a radio show where they did War of the Worlds, and it was so realistic that people thought it was real.
So because it was on the radio, it was played on the radio, and if you missed the first couple of minutes,
has decided he's going to do something similar. I think.
Unfortunately, it's 2025's Ice Cube and not 1998's Ice Cube, which would be a much better War of the Worlds.
I don't know the difference. I'm just going to reset my camera. I'll just be 2 seconds, okay?
Yeah. All right, Ice Cube in 1998 was a. I think I get my years right. He's still in the NWA by 1998, is he not?
Gangsta Paradise Ice Cube, was it?
No, that's Coolio. Come on,
there you go. There you go. He's such an angry man.
In fairness, they're both West Coast, I think.
Yeah, they're both West Coast.
Yeah, I was going to say. No, I've heard nothing but bad. I've not seen the new War of the Worlds with Ice Cube, but I've heard nothing but bad things.
Yeah,
I've currently sitting with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's called 2025's worst film.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ice Cube was the voice of the baddie in the last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and he was excellent. Like he's the baddie. He's the voice of Superfly. Yeah, great. So
good enough. He's come a long way from NWA. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think that's it. That's a career I want. All my childhood heroes. Like I was massive into the NWA when I was like 15, as was all young boys that lived in Rosyth. But then
I was into Debbie Harry and Fleetwood Mac. So I'm of a different era, I'm afraid.
I quite like that the guy, a guy that was part of a group of like the most authoritative guys I could think of in my youth was the voice of the baddie in the most recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah,
that sits really well with me. So I feel really bad that his Amazon original War of the Worlds thing. It's all my understanding is it's all done like the way we do the podcast as well. Like a lot of the movie is folk talking on video call and stuff like that. Yeah, I've just heard nothing but bad things about
somewhere in a studio and thought this will be genius. It'll probably win awards. It'll be so good. You know, why has no one thought about this before? And yeah,
I can only really think of like the only like semi cool thing you could do with it is if somebody was having like this conversation in front of a window and like a robot walked past or something, and that you can only pull that stunt off once in that kind of movie.
That's the final scene in Cloverfield.
Yeah.
You know, that's the when they're on the big wheel and it's like 2 weeks prior and something goes into the ocean or something like that. It's been done.
Yeah.
It's more like remember during lockdown when Gal Gadot did that bloody awful rendition of Imagine, or let's get all my favorite famous pals together and we'll sing really badly a John Lennon legendary song, and that'll cheer the world up. Like, my grand's died, but look, Gal Gadot's on fucking telly singing Imagine. I'm like, it was Imagine, wasn't it? I'm not remembering that one. Yeah,
that was Imagine.
Not great. So.
Right, we're good. We're not. What else have we been watching this week then? I haven't been watching the fucking New War of the Worlds.
New War of the Worlds. Do you know what I've been watching? And because the last episode dropped this week, and I've kind of waited until it was all there to tell you. It's Murderbot on Apple TV.
Not heard of that.
Have you not? It's quite a famous series of books about a murder bot. He's a security unit. Like, you should imagine like a Terminator, but he's created by a company to protect people. And this one manages to overpower his control unit. But he's not a murder bot and such. He's still quite a good guy. He uses his newfound freedom to watch episodes of really bad science fiction shows, and that kind of colours how he is as a person. Very good sci-fi show. It's a half-hour comedy on Apple. The 10 episodes are all together are probably about 3 hours. So if you've got Apple or any other way of thinking it, have a look at it. It's absolutely brilliant.
Does it have they painted Fisher Stevens brown in it?
Have they what?
Like the 80s the
short circuit.
That's basically what I said. Like you described there, Andrew. So I just needed you if you turned around in that and like he's a murder bot, but then he's been reprogrammed and blah blah blah, and then Fisher Stevens shows up as an Indian guy, I would have been like, "Are you sure?"
Who's Fisher Stevens? I don't know who Fisher Stevens is.
Fisher Stevens is the actor. He's called Benjamin in a Short Circuit, but he plays an Indian scientist in Short Circuit.
The Indian scientist in Short Circuit. I remember that. Number 5 is alive. That one.
Yeah. So that's
he's a white guy.
He's a white guy called Fisher Stevens.
He's a white guy playing an Asian guy. I remember that being a big controversy years later.
That's Fisher Stevens.
He's also one of the Cooper brothers in Super Mario Brothers movie.
Okay, no, it's not like it's set on it's set in the future. It's set on an alien planet. It's got more in common probably with Starship Troopers than.
That's just cool. Like is it quite satirical as well?
I don't want to say too much about it. I will spoil your enjoyment. You'll enjoy it.
No, look at that. Go like it's this and good. Just when I get back to my streaming services next week, that'll be on my list. I think.
It's on Apple.
What about you, John? What are you watching?
Apple's got some good gear at the moment. It's got Severance, it's got Murderbot, and it's got Foundation.
All good stuff about all those.
Apple does have some decent stuff at the moment, and it also has Jason Momoa's new one about the High King of Hawaii or something like that. I don't know. That seems like to be his. He's
Braveheart.
He's Braveheart in Hawaii. Basically,
that's his
king of the Maoris. I know the Maoris, whatever Hawaiian generic people are from.
Braveheart 5-0.
I've not watched that. Do you know, I've never really. He's done 3 or 4 shows, and I've never really been able to get into any of them. He did a show where he was a fur trapper, and I was like, meh. And then he did a show where everybody was blind, and I was like, meh. Jason Momoa's he seems like a thoroughly nice guy, and I'd love to go have a beer with him. But he's
He was in fucking the Minecraft movie. That's what I saw him in this year, and that wasn't a very good film. and he's Aquaman. That's all I know about him.
Yeah. Well, he was.
Yeah. No, I know. I'll give a. I've heard mixed things about. I've basically heard that Jason, the new one about him being King of Hawaii, is his Braveheart. Like it's because I think he's one of the executive producers on it.
It's a passion project. He's what tell the story of his ancestors, and that's fair enough. The guy that made Braveheart, who I met because we had the British premiere in Edinburgh at the cinema in Edinburgh next to where I worked, and Randall Wallace, who was the guy who was apparently descended from, or said he was descended from William Wallace. I'm sure that years later it came out that it was just a coincidental name. He was an American called Wallace, so he decided he was descended from William Wallace.
Yeah, imagine that gets done quite a lot.
Joe,
what have you been watching this week?
I've been catching up on Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3, which has just dropped. I watched the Season 2 finale again, just to get myself ready for Season 3. It's incredibly bland. It's a bit weird. I've really been enjoying it as well. And it's a bit kind of... Put it this way, this week they've got a holodeck episode.
I've just started watching it and I haven't got around there yet.
And it's set before Kirk's Enterprise. And
they didn't have holodecks. No.
They didn't have holodecks. It's a bit weird.
Well, that's the point of the episode, though. I think is that not going to be that? Is that not the punchline to the episode? Is that like the technology is not working yet, so they're going to show the project.
But still, it's like it's a way to shoehorn in a holodeck episode. That's all it is.
Yeah. The fandom were very excited this week though, because it apparently confirms a long-standing fan theory from the original run. Have you heard about this?
No.
There's a thing in the original run. It's actually in one of the movies. I think maybe the Voyage Home, or the one where they're in New York, where Spock does this sort of throwaway line where he talks about an ancestor of his who said, once you discard the impossible, whatever's left, however improbable, must be the truth.
I always thought that the fan theory was that he was related to Conan Doyle in some way.
Well, that was Sherlock Holmes, and this fan theory has always been that Spock's human side was descendant from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
But it had never been addressed, and it was addressed in this episode when he talks about his ancestor, Arthur Conan Doyle.
Oh, so
Spock is 1/528th Scottish. That's what I read into that.
So he'll go on holiday to Scotland and tell everyone about it.
He will. He'll come there and he'll say that Sean Connery was his best pal, and Sean Connery helped him get into the Vulcan Space Academy and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And when Sean Connery hadn't seen Spock for a long time, what did he say?
Yeah, and apparently Sean Connery didn't even like Spock very much. I think it was still not talking about Spock.
He didn't like him so much that he decided he would film. He would be Harrison Ford's dad instead of Spock's brother. Did you know that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yep. Star Trek 5. Yeah.
That's how much he hated Spock.
He would.
Yeah. He'd rather appear in. He'd rather
Final Frontier.
Yeah, Final Frontier. Yeah, they approached Sean Connery. Yeah, they approached him to film to be Cyborg, and that's why the planet they go to is called Shakari. Sean Connery.
Right. Okay. And instead, he decided to do Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So good choice, Sean Connery.
Yeah, I think he's made the right choice.
Yeah, I think he made the right choice there. Like,
unfortunately, Star Trek 5 is one of those ones. It's like Superman 4. It got hit by budget cuts before filming started. I read the book. It's called Captain's Log, and it's by William Shatner and his daughter about the making of Star Trek 5, and just the stuff that fell apart is crazy.
Yeah. It was the same. Like Sean Connery went to do Indiana Jones instead. I think so did ILM. Was it? It's not ILM were doing like
ILM were making. They were doing too many things at once, and they got in this rookie studio. who barely did anything.
Yeah.
And had to like farm it out to like lots of other different studios, and that's why the special effects don't look as good.
Yeah.
So,
in fact,
yeah.
It's the long-standing thing that even numbered, odd numbered Star Trek movies are poor. Star Trek the motion picture, poor.
I wouldn't say poor.
Wrath of Khan is
just not as good as the evil ones. Yeah.
Search for Spock, poor. Voyage Home.
Oh, that's not poor.
Search for Spock. It's no great. It's not the greatest.
It's not poor though.
No, but it's not Wrath of Khan.
It's not as good as the even ones, is how I do it. Because I really like the motion picture.
That's the thing to say. When you number them up and you think of them, the even ones are always the best ones. And Wrath of Khan is undeniably, I think we can agree, the greatest Star Trek movie.
My favorite 4 are definitely the even ones. Like my favorite 4 Star Trek films are, or even 5, and I think that still falls into the even odd argument. My favorite, like my top 5 Star Trek movies, I don't know what order, are 2, 4, 6, First Contact.
You look at the next generation ones. Generations. God, what was the second one?
First Contact.
First Contact. Yeah, amazing.
Incredible, yeah.
The new ones bucked that trend though, because I think the first of the new ones, the Pike, what's his face ones? First of the new ones was amazing. J.J. Abrams, aye. So the first one was great. Second one, sorry, not quite so great, and then the third one,
that's right.
Not great again.
The new ones are based on if they've got a Beastie Boys song in them, they're good. Yeah. And if they don't have a Beastie Boys song in them, they're not that good. And it's the same with MCU. Same thing happens in MCU.
Everywhere, everybody though is trying to shoehorn usually the same songs as well into their stuff these days.
See, Fight for Your Right, the Party, Sabotage, Intergalactic, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn just appear in everything at the moment.
But my Star Trek viewing led into what I did at the festival this week.
Yes,
I went to see Mr. Rhys Darby, who guest stars in Strange New World as a character we might have seen before. Yeah. But it's Rhys Darby, and he's awesome.
Rhys Darby's great. I think we can all agree he's one of those just great.
Yes. I went to watch his Cryptid Factor podcast.
Yeah.
His Cryptid Factor podcast, which was really funny. Then I hung around for 4 hours. I went to go and see his stand-up show. Just, man's a genius.
He is. At least one of my favourite moments in movies is he's got his massively small part in What We Do in the Shadows, where he's the leader of the werewolves, and he sort of diffuses a fight by saying to them, by reminding them what the mantra is. You don't use cuss languages. What are we? We're werewolves, not werewolves.
Not werewolves, yeah.
Have you seen him? Have you seen Our Flag Means Death?
Yeah, he's so good.
Oh, have you not seen Our Flag Means Death, John? You need to go and watch that.
It's on my list
many things to watch. I'm surprised you went to see Rhys Darby live and not having seen that show one.
Just amazing.
It's on my list.
It's the same character as well, like that. Like, come on, we're done with pillaging now, fellas, aren't we? Remember,
I'm not saying he's one-dimensional, but he
plays that character.
I can't imagine he's never going to play. He's never going to do a Robin Williams and play, the serial killer in the mountains in a Scandi noir sort of thing.
I don't know though. He probably could if he had the right team.
He's never going to. Jermaine Clement, I could see doing. I could see doing that. He's got more versatility. He's got more range. But Rhys Darby's so likable. I like him a lot. I'm going to look out for that.
It's awesome. I've not listened to that podcast yet. You were saying about Cryptid Factor. Do they talk? Is it basically they talk about cryptids, or is it like a comedy podcast?
Basically, yeah. It's cryptids and the unknown. I got turned on to it about sort of 5 years ago at work, and it's been running for 18 years in New Zealand. It's the longest running New Zealand podcast. They used to do it on a radio station, 2 or 3 radio stations. They got kicked off, and now they just do sporadically do podcasts. But yeah, they do cryptids, the unknown, lots of weird and wacky news as well. like the three headlines on the show that they recorded. One was Swamp Crotch sets off metal detectors at airports. The second one, Swamp Crotch sets set off metal detectors. And I'm sitting going, ooh, good thing there's not one near me right now. Oh, toasty. And a guy who was robbing a house stopped to read a book that caught his fancy and got caught because he stopped to read a book. And the owner of the house woke up and saw him reading the book. So yeah, it's lots of fun like that. But yeah, they do a lot of cryptids and stuff, Loch Ness Monster and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm always looking out for a new podcast that I can listen to, particularly when I go through the occasional bouts of insomnia when I can't get to sleep at night and I don't want to have the TV on because it'll keep you awake. I find myself, my go-to podcasts on the bus and stuff like that is like real life murderers and stuff like this. But I find I can't listen to them before I try and get to sleep because they just keep me out a wee bit.
Yeah,
I enjoy Smart Lists.
And murdered them, and you're like, oh, and then someone moves downstairs and you're like, it's the dog.
Do you listen to Smart Lists at all, Andrew?
Smartles?
Smart Lists.
No.
With Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and his name escapes me. Anyway, yeah.
I like two of them.
Really
Smart List.
Smart Less. Smart L-E-S. Smart Less.
Oh, Smart List.
Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and the guy that plays Jack in Will and Grace. I've forgotten his name. That's outrageous. They're all best friends in real life.
What's the context?
They just interview people. They interview celebs, politicians.
The guy who plays Jack. The guy who plays Sean something.
Jack. Sean Hayes. Yeah. That's it. Sean Hayes. Yeah. Yeah, they're all best friends in real life, and they interview like celebrity guests, presidents. It's the biggest podcast in the world.
Is it? How have I not heard of it?
Yeah, I heard of that one.
Yeah.
I just to like my podcast is
5 years.
That guy, which is the guy who played it's Wes Chattle, who played Amos in The Expanse, and Ty Frank, who's one of the writers of the book series The Expanse, and that started out just as a talk through of The Expanse episodes.
Yeah,
but they've well past that now, so they talk about movies and stuff like that, and it's really good. But
there's so
Smart List and the Cryptid Factor.
The Cryptid Factor is always like
the Office Ladies. Have you listened to the Office Ladies?
Yeah, that's Pam and the wee accountant. Pam and Angela, yeah.
From the Office, yeah. That's really funny as well.
So much of stuff like that. I listen to I've been listening to Football Cliches. Tom put me onto that a couple of years ago. Still listen to that every week. It's just a couple of group of comedians that talk about football and the things that annoy them about football. And then I just listen to like movie podcasts, like the Confused Breakfast guys. Everyone that likes like old 80s and 90s movies should check them out. So just good banner, like talking about, and they talk about like, like I was listening to their Speed episode and they're talking about like a day in the life of like one of the other bus passengers and what, like, and that kind of stuff.
I think see when people do things like that, they do the 80s movies and so they'll do Speed and the Terminator or Predator or something like that. They should be ones who do that about the B stuff, the stuff that we used to pick up on VHS. No Retreat, No Surrender, and Fists of Fury, or what was the one? The Last Dragon. I think I talk about this one a lot, about Bruce Leroy, Bruce Lee, black student. But yeah, the stuff that you used to get, not the stuff that had Jean-Claude Van Damme in it, but the stuff that had Michael Dudikoff or something like that.
The guy on YouTube that I've been watching, where he takes a topic and he just like goes through, and his videos are like an hour long, and he goes through and he looks for like all the copycat movies. So like obviously it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but like when Jaws came out,
Star Wars, when Star Wars was a copy of Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah, I'm finding this guy, but he does them all. Like he picks a topic. So he did Star Wars. He did like all the Star Wars, and he basically travels around the world and finds out like what were India doing straight after Star Wars, what were filmmakers in the Philippines doing straight after Star Wars, and then he does Jaws, and he does James Bond, which I should have probably left that to the last and used that as a segue because we need to move on. But but he does that like Terminator, RoboCop, and he just looks at like when a film makes it big in America, these like studios and corners of the world that you can't really like slap copyright on, go off and do their own thing. Like they do their own like super, and then obviously you get some of them that like become a bit silly, like the Bollywood Superman was a massive thing, for example. Like, and that was
they still do that. There's a I was reading a thing by Chuck. I can't remember his name, but he did I read an article by Chuck, the guy who created the Big Bang Theory and things. Chuck Woolley. Yeah, so there's an article by him, a couple of years ago, and he was talking about this show from Hungary or Poland or somewhere in the Western Bloc called The Scientists, which is fundamentally a shot-for-shot remake of the Big Bang Theory, based in Russia. And they never pay him a penny. They never. He never responds to the cease and desist letters or something like that. He says because they're sort of within these countries that aren't part of the same blocks as us, they just didn't go. Like I say, I'll not let you show my shows. He's buying your shows. It's cheaper to make them from scratch rather than double them and pay you for them. So yeah. So you ever hear of like you say, you talk about the rip-offs, like the rip-offs of the greatest ever rip-offs of RoboCop was obviously Kick Puncher and follow-up Punch Kicker. Do you remember those ones?
Never heard of it.
That's a community joke there.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I've not watched
I was watching community bloopers today at work.
Aye.
Yeah, good times.
Rick, really quickly, my week, I watched some Stranger Worlds as well, but I'm finding it quite bland as well. Stranger Worlds totally blanded out by that.
It's weird,
Bear season 4 this week. Bear season 4, tremendous. Back up, I think everyone can agree that season 3 of the Bear, bar 1 or 2 episodes, isn't great, but season 4 I thought was excellent. And I've been like total vegging out on King of the Hill. There's a new season of King of the Hill on Disney Plus, so I thought I would watch the old seasons first, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a very, I remember watching it when I was younger because The Simpsons were like the best show when I was like 10, 11 years old. The Simpsons was the best, and you wanted to watch more sort of adult style cartoons. I remember at that age, South Park was maybe a wee bit too old for me when it first came out. South Park was something you would maybe, from my generation, well, I know I'm a wee bit younger than you guys, but like for me, South Park was like something, if you could catch an episode before your mum and dad found out you were watching it, and then you and your mates would like, or you would vicariously watch episodes of South Park through your friends because none of you were allowed to watch it. So you would just like, if one of you caught it, you would just explain the whole episode to your pals.
I was like, me and John were adults when it first came out. I had a house and a mortgage and stuff like this. I think it was 97 or 98.
Yeah, it was 97. Yeah. 95, yeah. And but yeah, the King of the Hill, very fucking funny, very clever. The fact that I don't know much about Mike Judge and the other writers' politics, but they always strike me as sort of left leaning. Probably, Mike Judge is quite a vocal Democrat, but so for them to write a TV series where the protagonist is a red state Republican, but still making him like the head of a very loving family and stuff like that. It's very clever. Like it's really like, it'd be like, I'm trying to think. You wouldn't have
always that kind of, he was a red state Republican, but would accept, what the kids were going through and things like this. There's a couple of episodes that were, I think he was a loving father.
Yeah, I think if you shouldn't write that, if the UK equivalent would be like a left-leaning Labour voter writing a story about a lovable Tory. Yeah, like just like that. It's just so it's very very funny. Brittany Murphy as the voice of Luann is just so funny, but like she was a superstar, was Brittany Murphy, taken away far too young. Like incredible. But I've been really enjoying it. I'm actually getting really excited about watching the new episodes of that. And I've been watching Knuckles as well. You know, the Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah,
I watched the episode. It was fun.
It's alright, like it's quite funny, and it has arguably the best opening credit sequence since Peacemaker.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I've not watched that at all. So
it's good. That's good fun.
You know, when you say Knuckles, I reminded. I'm watching a few things more than just Murderbot. I'm watching Foundation, but I'm also watching a show which passed me by, but I didn't watch it when it first came out. And just when you said Knuckles, there I was reminded of it because the main character is called Nucky. I'm watching Boardwalk Empire.
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Which is very, very, very good. It's like The Sopranos set in the 1920s.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list, man. Like it's always been on my list.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, can you just?
Yeah. Right. While Andrew's away, then we just get ourselves set up. So we like to do these episodes of Top 5 Go. Anyone that's not seen it, we decided that we with the news that there's a new James Bond movie coming out, being directed by, and can you say his name? The director of the new James Bond movie,
Denis Villeneuve.
Very good for director of the marvelous Dune movies. Yeah,
Denny, not Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis Villeneuve.
No, I was listening to a podcast where they were calling him Dennis for ages, and then one of the guys was like, "What are you talking about?" I can't even remember what the podcast was, but they were calling him Dennis for ages, and then somebody turned around and went, "It is Denis." It was. I actually think it was the review show on BBC Radio Scotland. You know, and somebody actually had to step, like one of the pundits had to turn and go, "His name's Denis, by the way." Yeah, but nah. So great, amazing visionary director. Anyone that's not seen the Dune movies should probably check them out. They are amazing, and he did a Blade Runner as well, the more recent Blade Runner movie, and just a great director. So we're hopefully going to get quite a different Bond, one that's got a totally different vibe, and obviously we're going to get a different actual James Bond. So I've been looking for segues the whole way through. So we mentioned Sean Connery earlier. Sean, yeah. So we probably will come back around to doing our top 5 James Bonds. But at the moment, I thought before, or Andrew came up with this idea before they announce the new James Bond. We're going to say who we think our personal top 5 picks are, and then what I'll do is I'll use maths, the power of maths, to add up who, as a team, our favorite pick for James Bond is, and then that will scientifically prove who the new James Bond will be.
I think there could be a big variation here. I think there's.
I think there'll be a huge variation. It'll be interesting.
Be surprising, but I think there's because I've tried to avoid the obvious.
I tried to do that too, and this is what I was quite interested in. Though, like, obviously, I was looking at this. Like, James Bond is a fucking huge like British institution, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I'm thinking about like the only other time where I think these sort of conversations happen about an actor is Doctor Who.
Yeah,
but I think we're obviously because of the type of media that Doctor Who is, you can literally throw every name under the hat, and even then, like when Jodie Whittaker, for example, was announced as a new Doctor Who, they're like, "Can't believe they're making him a girl," and they're like, "Well, he's not human," so they're you know like. But also with James Bond, he in the book is a 6'3" white guy, isn't he? so it's quite interesting. So
he's a big strong man. He's been played by generally big guys.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the years, if you look at, Sean Connery was a big guy. Roger Moore was a bloody big guy.
Timothy Dalton. I never realised how tall Timothy Dalton was until obviously I think most of us watched Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
And even as he's a relatively older man in Hot Fuzz, he's still.
Yeah, he's still, he's over 6 foot and stuff like this. And I know a couple of the guys, one of the guys, there's a few guys who are sort of favourites.
Yeah.
And a couple of them are freakishly large. Tom Hopper is kind of on the list, and if he gets it, he'll be the tallest man ever to play James Bond. He's 6'5". Tom Hopper. He's from Merlin and
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy, aye.
Oh, is he the big guy in Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to help out with. The other thing I struggle with a lot of the time is when they announce these folk, they're often off programs that I didn't watch. Usually they're all because I didn't. I think basically because I didn't watch. That one Game of Thrones for a long time. They kept announcing folk, and folk were like, "Oh my god, he'll be amazing!" And I had no idea who fucking Pedro Pascal was.
If you hadn't watched Narcos at the time or whatever like that, you wouldn't know who Pedro Pascal is. Everybody in the world now knows who Pedro Pascal is.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think of the 5 names I've come up with, three of them will be names that everybody has heard of, and
I think I'm probably the same.
Two will be ones that. The other 2 you guys will definitely have heard of, but not everybody will have maybe heard of them.
Okay, then we'll kick off then. Who's our number 5 for James Bond? 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Can't see mine, but it says Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston and Jack Lowden.
Oh yeah.
We'll do left to right. Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
5'8", maybe.
But we all watched Kingsman, didn't we?
I loved Kingsman. I absolutely loved Kingsman.
I quite like the idea of him playing Eggsy, but like just legit.
Eggsy as James Bond, sort of thing.
But like take away like I don't know. I just like Taron. I think he's really, really good. I think he'd be a great James Bond. Probably like I think you'll never get the job because he was Eggsy, and folk will be like, "Oh, you've just removed the funnier aspects of that character away." And actually,
personally speaking, I'd rather see more Kingsman than him take over things. The first one was great. The second one was great. They set up the second one with the Statesman. I think that could have been a lot more. And then thought, well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do a really dark historical one instead.
But let's take one of Britain's funniest actors and put him in a too serious movie.
Yeah.
That's the so Taron was mine, but I think I probably would like.
I like listen. I don't think I've seen a bad movie that Taron Egerton's been in. I even like the Robin Hood that he did. I thought he was great as Elton John.
Eddie Eagle was good as well.
He did a movie about the Nintendo game Tetris, and made that interesting. And stuff like
so good. The Tetris movie was great.
Yeah, he's just a great guy. So I can see that. Tom Hiddleston, you went for, John?
Tom Hiddleston, yeah, he's not going to get it, but
only because I think they've said they want somebody who's going to play the part for 5 movies, 20 years. I think they're looking for somebody in their 30s, sort of thing. But that's not. I've went for some slight because it's fan casting. I've went for older guys as well because I think I totally agree with you. Tom Hiddleston would be absolutely brilliant at it.
No, definitely. You've seen him in the Night Manager. That was good.
That's what I thought.
Proved he could do the action kind of stuff in King Kong. He proved he could do kind of the action stuff as well.
No, absolutely.
He's very physical. He's a bit of a dancer, so obviously he's got the physicality to do it as well. So I thought he could have been a good one.
He's capable of being funny. He's capable of physicality. I think he actually went for the role of Thor. When he got Loki, he applied for the role of Thor. You can imagine him bulking up for the character and stuff like this. Again, I don't think I've seen him in anything really, really bad.
We see him again, like you mentioned, Kong. You see him in Kong, and he's not. He's obviously worked out and sort of them. His physical presence in Kong is not the. I remember going to see Kong and only really knowing Tom Hiddleston from Loki. And being like, oh yeah, he looks like a totally different guy, and like actually, put a suit on him, his Kong era character, and you would have.
I think the first time they mentioned him for in the James Bond sort of conversation, I think was from the Night Manager. Which was, correct me if I'm wrong, that was John le Carré.
John le Carré,
And he was great in that. Unfortunately, it was 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, so it's longer than people would think.
They're making another one though. I think they're making a follow up to the Night Manager.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
so I'd like to see that. So but not Tom Hiddleston.
Who did you have, John? Who did you have?
I went with Jack Lowden, who's a young Scottish actor who you will know from Slow Horses. If you watch Slow Horses, which is again, it's a Lacari-esque. I always like to think that this is like, if George Smiley, lived for another 30 years, because Gary Oldman played Smiley back in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and you can imagine if 25 years later he turns into the character that he plays in Slow Horses. Have you seen Slow Horses, Jeff? No.
I've not. It's on my list. It's one of the ones you guys both talk about.
Possibly the best British show of the last decade. I think it's absolutely outstanding. If you like spy sort of stuff, and Gary Oldman is phenomenal in it, and Jack Lowden's phenomenal in it. And
I'm trying to. I've just googled him to see if I recognise him from anything that wasn't that. But
he's in adverts right now at the cinema for Cars. So if you've been to the cinema over the past couple of months, you'll have seen him before Superman and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I've not seen him in anything actually.
I'm trying to think of what else he's been on. He's a Scottish actor who does a good thing. So
I'll just have to. He's going to play. He's going to be in Rogue Trooper.
One Piece, yeah. He's going to be in, like, he's playing Mr. Darcy, I think, in New Pride and Prejudice.
I just need to check him out. Like, I'll actually just need to watch Slow Horses because you guys keep talking about how good it is.
Honestly,
it's phenomenal. I mean, it's largely predicated. I mean, Jack Lowden's the main character almost of it, but the scene stealing character, the character who absolutely dominates it, is this guy called Jackson Lamb, who's the leader of their kind of small group of slough houses that MI5, and he's played by Gary
Reject spies, basically. Yeah, the rejects. Yeah.
And Gary Oldman is just so good.
I'll check it out, man. As I say, it's often been like a right, okay, well, we do jump on number 4. It's interesting what you're saying about fan casting and stuff. My number 4 is an absolute fan cast, but 3, 2, 1.
I can't get in there. You can't see mine. Mine says Theo James.
Theo James.
Theo James.
The TV series The Gentleman.
Yeah, he's a gentleman, yeah.
And White Lotus, yeah.
And White Lotus, yeah, that's right. Yes, I know him. Yeah, looks the part. I'll say that. Start
and the In-Betweeners movie, who snorts shit up his
nose. Yeah. I've started. What is in? What season of the White Lotus is he in? Because I've only seen season 1 of the White Lotus, and everyone's like, "Oh, Theo James White Lotus."
Season 2, I think, it is with Aubrey Plaza.
I just need to keep watching it. Yeah, I only watched season 1 and loved it, but
certainly he's English. He's got the part. He's good looking. He's got the aristocratic bearing. If you've seen the TV show of The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie movie, he's very good at that. So I
totally agree. I
know he's being discussed. He's in the conversation.
He was in the Divergent films as well with Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, I didn't watch them.
Neither did I.
So not a female girl.
I watched the Divergence. I didn't watch the Hunger Games. I didn't watch what was the other one? The one where the kids were sort of dropped in the middle of the desert.
Maze Runner.
Yeah.
Hunger Games were okay.
Hunger Games were okay.
Hunger Games were okay.
Hunger Games were good.
No, they weren't that great. No, they weren't.
No, they were alright.
Anyway.
Theo James. I think he'd be an excellent. I think he is in the conversation, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm fairly sure he's in the conversation. Yeah, he's one of them that's there.
As is your choice, I think. You're.
I think Regé-Jean Page, who your wife will know him from Bridgerton. You'll know him,
and your nerdy sons will know him as the Paladin in Dungeons and Dragons.
From the Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a better looking man in Britain today than Regé-Jean Page, I don't know who it is. He's suave. He's in Bridgerton. My wife watches Bridgerton, and I didn't watch, but it's always on, and you're like, fucking hell, he's ridiculous. And I think he's in a couple of things as well. He was in that show where they're able to create things on computers and change CCTV. What's the name? It's the girl.
The one you were talking about. They had Ron Perlman in it as well, didn't it? Like the one that had Ron Perlman in it as well.
Yes, they did 2 seasons of it, and it's the girl who's the kind of from the Cuckoo's Calling, Holly something. But yeah, he was in a season of that as well, and he's just really, really good.
Yeah, he is.
I think he could be the part. And
he's probably in the conversation as well.
I think it's in the conversation. I think that they've got. I think you looked at after I picked my names. I went and looked at sort of the 15 names they're talking about, and there's the couple of token black men, and he's that guy.
Yeah.
There's the token Asian, which is Dev Patel, and there's also a couple of girls in the mix. I think they're probably going to give the part to a white man.
Yeah.
If I was asked to put my house on it,
I think they might do something quite clever. There's a clever writing, like they did with the last James Bond film, where they because like the idea that like I think there is that baity trying to like annoy the people that overuse the word woke and stuff like that. But because they did not when James Bond dies in the most recent movie, they gave the code number to a woman, so she became the new 007. So like she technically became the new James Bond, and then you could see like the right wing Sunday tabloids going like fucking. Like, oh, it's James Bond, not James Bond, and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, no, it's a code name though, and it's a code number, and they give it to someone else.
I think that's also the first time they've killed James Bond in any of the movies. So I think the idea that this would allow for continuity if James Bond is a code name that's given to somebody once they're assigned the 007. Because I think there's always been that case where M and Moneypenny back in the day saw through 3 actors. Like Miss Moneypenny was Sean Connery and Roger and George Lazenby.
Yeah.
And it was just when sort of Timothy Dalton came in that they sort of recast Moneypenny, and the same with M and the same way with Q.
Yeah.
And then even more recently, Judi Dench has seen through
2. Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan and
I
think so. The idea that it's not a person; it's a code name.
Yeah.
Enables it for that continuity. So
that's it.
I think Jean Page is up there.
Mine was Idris Elba, which I think is probably the same conversation. It's for exactly the same reasons, but he's too old now. I think, but he was just pretty much.
I do believe
10 years ago when he was like in the height of Luther and stuff like that, definitely and.
I mean, listen, he could do it now, but not for 20 years. Is the thing. I just watched him, totally. A couple of weekends ago. He's got a new movie on Netflix. I think it is with John Cena, where he plays the British Prime Minister.
Heads of state,
yeah, and he does the action sequences very well, and it's a romp and it's a decent enough movie. So he could do it now, but whether he could do it, he's
I think what you were saying as well. They'll be casting with that in mind.
Roger Moore was nearly 70, I think, when he did his last one.
Yeah. But it shows so.
and it showed.
Why is that old man hanging around with that teenage woman?
Yeah, just it got a bit ridiculous. What goes on with my thingy on this computer? So that's the first. So yeah, we're going to go with our threes. Or?
Yeah, they're threes.
Nope.
Jerry from Starbucks. Well, saying hi. Hey. Cheers, good guy.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay, 3, 2.
You've still got 4. You've still got 4.
Oh, all right, hold on. You just let me do that, mate. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, mine says Henry Cavill.
Oh. Henry Cavill. I knew he was.
Come on, guys. Both of you. So those are horrible choices.
Henry Cavill and Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, they're how obvious you want to get. Right, it's fine. Add Theo James, by the way.
My last 3 are all too old, but it's a fan cast.
Yeah, that's basically one thing. Fassbender was James Bond. See when X-Men First Class first came out?
Yeah.
He would have been perfect at that moment in time in his career, maybe a couple of years after when he was like in the height of Magneto.
I mean, he still looks like some actors because of the way they exercise and because of the way they're looked after. They do look a lot younger. I watched
Hugh Jackman.
Again, allow me to segue slightly, but I seen a very short Facebook, like a Twitch video this week, and it showed Ralph Macchio being interviewed 2 times on Letterman, with his age, and he was like, when he was 18, he was 14, and then when he moved back to part 2, he was 30, and he was 18. And now he's still looks considerably younger than me, and he's like 61.
Sounds like you're in a tunnel, mate.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair now. Yeah, Ralph Macchio's funny now because Ralph Macchio looks really old now. Like he doesn't. I don't think he looks like
younger than me. But he's 60 odd. You know.
He's also the only person in the Karate Kid franchise that doesn't look like the younger version of himself anymore. Like the rest of them, you can be like, "Oh, that's Johnny." I always think Ralph Macchio doesn't look like himself from when he was a kid.
Oh no, I think he looks just like himself.
That is thanks for that. So yeah, no, Fassbender's a good show.
I'll stand by Michael Fassbender. He looks younger than he is, but and I think he in his day he would have made an amazing James Bond. He's suave, he's handsome, his physicality, no problems at all.
I agree. I just think it's like and Henry Cavill as well. Like I saw the movie that came out last summer by Henry Cavill, where he was I don't know.
Argyle.
There was Argyle came out, but there was another movie that came out last year, which was better than Argyle and came out with no fanfare, which was the one that was like, because Argyle's like linked to the Kingsman universe, isn't it? It's like it's in there. Yeah. Sorry,
it's got a very similar style, yeah. But
spoilers, sorry.
I wasn't aware that I was linked to Kingsman.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a couple throwaway bits in it.
It was Matthew. Was it Matthew? Were they both Matthew Vaughn? I think.
Yeah, they're both Matthew Vaughn as well. No, there was a Guy Ritchie movie. I think it was Guy Ritchie that came out on Amazon last year. That was called like The Gentleman of Unscrupulous.
The one about the start the SAS.
Yeah.
The one about the formation of the SAS.
Yeah. Henry Cavill's character was based on Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
Or is Ian Fleming? Ian Fleming is in the film, played by that blonde guy that everyone fancies.
Andrew, the guy who was the hot priest in.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a guy who
Moriarty in Sherlock.
Yeah, he plays Ian Fleming in this movie, and I think the idea is that he writes about Henry Cavill's character and then makes him James Bond.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah.
I watched the film and I enjoyed it immensely. Alan Ritchson was in it as well. The guy who plays Reacher.
Yeah, he was in it. Yeah, Gentleman. I'm sure what that film was called. Ungentlemanly Warfare is what it's called.
League of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah, or something like that. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was a good movie. But Henry Cavill's character in that was based on it was basically the basis for James Bond, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I think
he's one of the hot favourites to take the job. Obviously, I think he looks good in a tux. He's I think he's got the physicality to do it for 20 years.
Yeah.
I think he's not a red hot favourite because I sometimes think that Amazon are going to go slightly off kilter, and you're going to get.
I think with the direction team they've got as well, like when they were going to go with it, obviously if you told me that Timothée Chalamet would be as good as he was in June,
Timothée Chalamet can do anything. Like Timothée Chalamet could do James Bond and he'd be absolutely brilliant in it.
He could, but like if you told me that 2 years ago, just before I'd seen the first June movie, I'd have been like, "Mate, go and fuck off. Go and stop being a prick. Go and stop saying shit."
Yeah. I'll not hear a bad word said against him in the last 3 years. In June, I've seen him play Willy Wonka. Ken, I've seen him play Bob Dylan.
He's great in that one as well.
He's believable and great in everything he does. I think you get generationally, you get actual movie stars that come around, and I think Timothée Chalamet is the closest we've got.
I agree.
To an actual, a young movie star.
No, I agree.
I don't think he'll be Bond, but
no, I don't think he will be either.
If he did, he'd be bloody brilliant at it.
Yeah.
He's actually my number one now. We're not coming right.
I got Theo James as my number 3.
Theo James, yeah.
For all the reasons.
You were John. You were
Cavill.
Yeah.
Cavill, yeah.
There's a 3. So Theo James has appeared twice now. That's
Theo James. Cavill. Did you say everything you wanted to say about Cavill, John?
Sorry?
Did you say everything you wanted to say about Cavill?
I didn't say anything. Everyone else did.
I know. It was your choice. That's what I was asking.
I think you covered it all. Obviously, I think he's maybe slightly aging out. He's aging out slightly, but for the most part, I enjoyed him in Man from U.N.C.L.E. I imagine I'd enjoy him as James Bond. Yeah, so he was Napoleon Solo. Yeah,
he was. I was very close to going for the one who played Ilya Kuryakin for the James Bond. Apparently, he's a bad man. He can't get a job in.
Yeah, he's a wrong'un.
Would anymore.
He's a wrong'un.
He's a wrong'un.
Okay.
3, 2, 1 for number 2. 3, 2, 1.
Right.
Oh,
you can't see mine, but mine says Sam Heughan from Outlander.
Yes.
Okay.
Another Scotsman to the list.
Yes.
Yeah,
but of course.
Well, I think, seeing as we've already talked about Tom Hiddleston, which we both went for when you mentioned her earlier, John, we'll talk about Sam Heughan.
Yeah,
Sam Heughan. Sam Heughan. Yeah, he's a big hunk of beef for Scotland.
Physicality, he's got it definitely.
Definitely,
got it, all right.
I think he'll be good.
Fucking beautiful legs and his amazing ass.
Girls love him, like as you know, Jamie McSporran or whoever the character is. Obviously, again, it's not a program I or most men watch. As Outlander.
I never watched it, no. But
I'm Jamie McShagger from the clan Pump the Mammies.
That was the Burniston send off of it, wasn't it? Jamie McShagger.
Travel out and about these glens, pumping all the mammies.
The thing about him is, I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything else.
He was in the comic book adaptation, the well-known comic book adaptation of the well-known comic book character Bloodshot, starring Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one. Apparently, that was an awful turkey. So,
it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
It was a lockdown. It was a. If memory serves, or I might have made that up, but it was a casualty of lockdown, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Movies, yeah.
But you know what? It wasn't bad. It passed an hour and a half in the house. So, you know, and for once it wasn't Vin Diesel talking about family. So, you know, family.
Yeah.
I really, for me, Outlander was one of those weird programs that I watched because me and Claire were trying to watch stuff together, and we had this horrible thing that kept happening where we would watch a program, I'd get right into it, and then she would turn off quite quickly. And I actually quite enjoyed Outlander, but I think the thing that Claire really hates, anything that couldn't have happened. And Outlander's a really weird one in that actually, if you forget the first 45 minutes of the first episode, you would actually forget it was like a time travel program.
Yeah.
You know, and actually, it could have worked as just a historical anyway, but it's weird. Yeah, no. I don't know him from anything but Outlander, but I can totally see it, and I know he's in the conversation. So,
I think he was an I Spy as well with Melissa McCarthy and Jason Statham.
Why is that a film?
I've seen that one.
That's a good film, I Spy.
I've never even heard of it. It just seems like you were like.
Oh no, it's a classic. It's a modern classic.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to do a spy comedy with a fucking spy comedy.
It's Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham, Jude Law, and Rose Byrne in that film. And it's directed by Paul Feig.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Delightful.
Rose Byrne's always delightful.
So Paul Feig done. Rose Byrne. So Paul Feig's done all these really weird, he did the Ghostbusters movie, didn't he, and stuff like that.
Yeah, he did Bridesmaids as well. Yeah,
did Bridesmaids. Do you also know that he was the science teacher in Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
What, Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Is Paul Feig not? I'm not making that up, am I?
He is. He's a science teacher. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And the Melissa McCarthy ones.
Yeah, he's just an actor. He plays the total random science teacher in that, and then goes on to be this massively successful movie director.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Okay, we've got top five go.
Now he's directing the next James Bond movie.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
we us there went for Tom Hiddleston. We've spoken about him. I think he's slightly too old, but certainly suave, good looking, action. He can do the job.
Yeah, absolutely,
definitely.
And okay, our top one in our top 5 goal for James Bond is 3, 2, 1.
Mine says Jack Lowden.
Okay. Right, let me get the points up. Jack Lowden, 5.
And Andrews is Andrew's man crush. It's Skarsgård.
He absolutely
his second favourite Skarsgård.
He possibly is my second favourite Skarsgård because the older one that's in Thor.
Yeah.
Stellan
Skarsgård is absolutely brilliant.
He's my favourite.
The guy who was in It, who played Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Yeah, he's my third Skarsgård.
Is the other Skarsgård and stuff like this. But Alexander Skarsgård, I think John's nailed it there. I think we've spoken about this before. He is sort of my man crush. He looks, if you see him in Tarzan, he looks like he was hewn out of fucking marble. He's such a perfect specimen of a man. He's actually in, I talked earlier on about, and I didn't mention his name because I didn't want to ruin this, but the show that
Murderbot.
In Murderbot, he's the main guy in Murderbot. And I think he would be brilliant. He's got dead eyes. If you looked at him and you thought, Ken, you wanted somebody you think who's just, you're going to believe they're going to blow somebody up or kill somebody or throw somebody off a cliff and then make a really, really bad pun about it. It's like I had to let him go, sort of thing. That was
Schwarzenegger.
That was Schwarzenegger, I think. That's right.
I
let him go.
He had to split.
Don't wake him up. He's dead tired.
He's dead tired.
Yeah. Alexander Skarsgård, I think, could be that guy. So he's the only new name on the list. But I'm glad that you both went number one with people that I had previously on my list. It shows that
that's the same.
There's been a bit of thoughts there. Reggie Jean-Page. Obviously, I like Reggie Jean-Page and Jack Lowden. I could not agree more. These people.
I need to go and watch Slow Horses. I think it's been established. That's what I've learned from this.
Yes, hands up, man! It's one of, like I say, probably the best British show made in the last 5 years. And that's including, in British shows, I'm going to include Ted Lasso and things like this. Slow Horses is one I absolutely wait to drop every year when the new episodes drop, and I'll watch the entire thing.
What's it on? Apple.
Sorry? It's Apple. It's on Apple, Apple, yeah. But there's only six episodes per season.
Yeah, short seasons. You can go over them in a couple.
Of
nights.
Very short.
And we do go over them in a couple of nights.
Very funny, fantastic show.
The support, the supporting cast is great. It's it's Kristen
Scott Thomas.
Kristen Scott Thomas. You remember the girl from the first 2 seasons of Detectorists that played the student metal detector?
Yeah.
She's
Olivia Cook.
Is that her name? That's not her name, is it?
No. But she's in it though.
She's in it though, the Welsh girl. The Welsh girl.
Yeah, I liked her as well.
Yeah, she's in it. There's a sort of a rotation sometimes of the staff members as well. That sort of thing is like that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
good.
Absolutely good.
I will watch it this week. I will give you my review of that next week. Okay, so there was nobody new other than.
I think it's going to be Jack Lowden, Reggie Jean-Page, and Theo James.
That's your
Tom Hiddleston.
That's your three. So so in reverse popularity, in joint fourth was Skarsgård and Theo James. So
really?
and then it was Jack Lowden in third place.
Okay.
And then it was Reggie Jean-Page in second place. And then Tom Hiddleston, who we all picked at various parts of our. Tom Hiddleston is who we all reckon should be the next James Bond. So
I would be massively happy if they turned around.
I would be happy.
Tom Hiddleston, but because of his age, he's signed in for 3 movies. I think build a trilogy.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig didn't need 5. If Daniel Craig had finished after, what was the third one he did? The really good one, the
Skyfall.
if Daniel Craig had walked away after Skyfall,
Skyfall felt like it should have been his last film. Even watching Skyfall, if you watch Skyfall, it felt like it told you his. I like that kind of also. It also played around.
And Judi Dench, that was Judi Dench's last one as well, and stuff like this. If they'd done that and said like that's it at the end of it,
Skyfall did two things I really like having. It's not like Skyfall had this tech. I always remember what I really liked about Skyfall is it had tech from like previous James Bond movies that weren't.
Yeah, I did the DB5.
Yeah, like DB5, despite the fact that
which was great.
Yeah, it was like how's he got that when he wasn't that, and then you're like, oh, because he's James Bond and all that. So I like that. But
he's inherited it. So I think, yeah,
it's only James Bond I can think of that's actually tried to play around with that. You know what I mean?
And I think because I didn't think Spectre was particularly great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't Quantum of Solace bad. And No Time to Die was pretty good. I think Rami Malek was pretty good in it. But anybody
Quantum of Solace worked better if you watch it directly after Casino Royale.
Yeah,
because it's set like minutes afterwards. If you watch it right after, and if you watch it as a standalone, it's like, oh, jeez. But right after, it's like, okay, fair enough. You can view it as like the next episode of a TV show. But Skyfall.
I just think a Quantum of Solace is such a weird measurement of solace as well. Like normally when I go to Asda, I want to get like really big bags of solace.
No, you want
to only get a wee quantum of it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a strange phrase. It actually came from it came direct from Ian.
Oh, maybe wrote it in like the 50s when they were still like.
Yeah, but it still it didn't mean anything then. I think
rationing and stuff. Like
he heard it from one of his pals and thought it sounded good. But Skyfall was absolutely the best of the new ones, closely followed by Casino Royale. I think those two alone.
Yeah, Casino Royale was great. I remember I went to the cinema to see Casino Royale when Sean's mum. That's how old that film is. That makes me feel really old. Sean's mum was pregnant, and he'll be 18 next month. So
because there's a name that I considered for James Bond, which was Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah,
circa then. I think again he had the looks, he had the stature, he had everything like that. But he's just not there now. But I did watch just an hour or so before I came on here the days. He's got a new movie out called The Last Viking. Mads Mikkelsen. He plays someone with some kind of mental health issue where he just basically says whatever he's thinking. It's a Norwegian language one. Go and watch the trailer for it. It looks like the funniest film of the year, and this is a year when I'm hearing from people I'm seeing reviews from people who've seen Police Squad who are saying that they've broken down laughing watching the new.
I heard the Naked Gun's great. Yeah, it's definitely on my list. Like, I watched them. Have you seen Another Round with Mads Mikkelsen talking about like Norwegian language films?
Another Round.
He's got a film called Another Round.
Oh, is that the one where they try and get to a certain level of drunk?
Yeah, they micro those pints basically.
Yeah,
it's great.
There's a certain level of drunk where you're really happy and really positive about life, and any less than that, any more than that, and you're
pissed. Basically, it's like
you try and maintain this exact level.
Yeah. So it basically works out like a pint and 3/4 worth of like alcohol, and if you can keep to that level of drunk, you're fine. But then obviously,
see when he does small parts like this, Mads Mikkelsen's brilliant. It's just he really only does badly. I think when he tries he was pretty bad in Doctor Strange, which wasn't the best of the sort of Marvel movies.
He was probably the best thing in it though. I thought as well. Like
he's usually the best thing in everything he does. But The Last Viking, go and watch the trailer.
Yeah, well done, man.
And tell me you don't think this is going to be one of the funniest movies.
So, that's him, and that's it. So yeah, Tom Hiddleston is our James Bond.
Tom Hiddleston will be the new James Bond, according to Justin. We called that.
We'll try and get everyone away in a minute. Sorry about that. We managed tried to keep it tight, but we segued a wee bit. Anything exciting happening this weekend before we say bye, guys?
I don't believe so. I'm going to finish the last 2 episodes of Murderbot.
The night start Wednesday on Netflix. Season 2 is just dropped.
Season 2 of Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, cool. That's good.
Yep. And the trailer for The Paper just dropped today as well. The sequel to The Office.
Oh, okay, and I'll have to go and watch that then. It takes place in the same office, doesn't it?
Same universe.
Well, I thought it takes place in the same building. That's the whole point. The set's the same.
It doesn't come out and say that.
Okay.
In the trailer, I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It feels more like Parks and Rec than it does The Office, though, which is not a bad thing.
Parks and Rec, I absolutely loved. There is one carryover character.
There is.
So we shall see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Which gives you the option, because of who he is and who his friends are and things like this. It does give you the option to have a Dwight Schrute cameo, which I think everyone I would love to see.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Cool. I'm glad that. I'm going to the pub with you on Saturday. That'll be good fun.
Yep, that'll be fun.
It's the first. It's the first game of the new Fife Amateur Sunday League football season on Sunday as well.
Everyone knows that. Everyone's
excited. Well, I'm excited because
Bucky Thistle versus Innerleaf Athlete.
Yeah,
tick off my list. Tick.
Well, my coffee van, Wake Up Coffee, we sponsor one of the strikers of Eddie's AFC, and Eddie's AFC are an amateur team that are based in the park that my van sells beer in. Sells coffee, and I don't sell beer. You sell
beer? What the hell?
No, sorry, just thinking about the beers on Saturday. No, so Eddie's are playing their first game of the season on Sunday against Kirkcaldy AFC. So it's the battle of Kirkcaldy. It's the Kirkcaldy amateur football derby, and it's the football pitch that they're playing on is right in front of my van. So I'm quite excited about that because I'll get to work and watch live football. So awesome. But yeah. I hope everyone keeps themselves well. See everybody in the week. See you all in the week, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy whatever you're doing. See you soon.
Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers.